Hi, I'm Kerry Johnson. My friends call me Merv. I live down here on Fairlawn Lane in South Austin. I've been living here about 6 years, but I won't be living here for very long. When Hurricane Ike came into the Houston area a couple of weeks ago, my parents, who are 87 and 88 years old, they lost power, and I actually talked them into coming up to Austin and staying with me until they got the power back in their home. On a Sunday afternoon after the hurricane hit, I went down and picked them up and brought them back here. A couple days later, the people from Centex Realty, Kyle Mazinga in particular, called me and said that he'd like to send a crew out to do some work in the yard, or actually build a deck in the back of the home. I said that's okay, but please don't do it right now, as my folks are visiting and they're both pretty old, and it just isn't a good time. He wasn't too thrilled about that, but I guess he agreed to it. A week later, while my folks were still here, work crew showed up to the house. They said they were going to work in the do the work, and they were going to be quiet about it. Well, I didn't really think that was going to work out, so I told them perhaps you ought to come back at another time, that I didn't want the work done. In fact, earlier that day, my brother called me and said, one of my brothers in Houston called and said my parents' power had been restored at their home, so we figured out I would get them to Houston by the following day, which is a Wednesday night. So I told the work crew they could come back on Thursday, and the guy seemed to be fine with it. He left his materials here, and they were going to go out and have some beer. The next day, which was a Wednesday, the last day my parents were here, Kyle Mazinga of Centex Realty called me and said that he couldn't believe that I'd sent the work crew away, that the owner's going to be real upset because he was going to have to pay their wages for the day, and that I was just being in the way of progress. How could I stop him from doing some work that was going to improve the place I lived at? He said the landlord would give me a call as far as my lease. I never heard from the landlord, and 15 minutes later I got what I call an eviction notice via email. So this is my last month here, if I last that long.